Good morning, and welcome to another episode of It's Definitely Not My Intention to Show You Those Welds. It is 7:05 in the morning. I'm gonna go ride this thing with my friend Nick, who's from Ontario, who I've never met in person yet. And yes, I do feel there is relevance in showing some welding on my motorcycle and going to ride mountain bikes, because I have finally taken the plunge, pulled the trigger, and ordered my custom steel full suspension mountain bike. Kind of just gave away the plot a little earlier than I wanted to. We're gonna talk about it more. So, yes, I have taken the proverbial plunge into the world of custom full suspension steel mountain bikes, courtesy of Merino Bikes. They are out of Lima, Peru, and they will build you a completely custom frame to your liking for like little money, not a lot of money at all. And I know what you're thinking. How was biking? You didn't bring us with you. What's up with that? I just happened to forget to bring a camera with me in my pocket. Anyway, as you know, the custom steel bike is what I've been talking about to replace my 2013 felt compulsion frame for at least the last year, maybe even more. I've been talking about it forever. I've regularly filled out, like, these are all the numbers. Like, I have filled this out 5-6 times. I've kind of compared it to other bikes that I've ridden, ones that I'd maybe enjoy, and like kind of pick numbers in between. And I've gotten to the point of being like, order filled out. I'm like, I don't know that I can do this. So I'll like exit out of it, erase all the numbers, and be like, some other time, until I found out that you don't have to pay for it all the way after you hit add to cart. It actually goes to the designers there. They'll design it for you, send you the design to look at and approve, and then they take a deposit. They don't even charge you the whole thing. They build it, and then you pay the rest when it's done and ready to be shipped. And I'm like, oh, I could make that work. So I thought it'd be kind of fun to share like the higher level, maybe interesting design choices that I made. I guess mostly so you can scrutinize them, even though I'm not going to change them anyway. So custom full suspension mountain bike frame that I am choosing to build up with all of these parts. So let's start with the geometry that I know everyone's going to ask first. What head tube angle did you pick, Eric? And I picked 65 degrees. I know I wouldn't want to ride anything slacker than that. Next up, C-tube angle. I went 77 degrees on my custom bike. I basically actually what I did was kind of like looked at the pole Evo link and looked at the medium large and sort of shot for in between for like a lot of stuff and just like made it a little more conservative just by like a degree here or a degree there. So theirs is close to 78 and effective it's like 79. I chose to do 77 and 65 degree head tube angle. I shot basically right between the Evo Link size 2 and 3, like that's the medium and large, and went 510 millimeters of reach. That's quite long, but I have, like when I rode the track lacrosse bike yesterday, 56 degree top tube, 130 mil stem, and all I could think the whole time was, holy moly, I would love to be riding a mountain bike this long with 150 mils of travel underneath me. So definitely aggressive long. That's like the one thing that I think about a lot, whether I'm like, ooh, do I want to go that far or not? But I'm holding my ground. I'm gonna keep it there. C-tube length, 460 millimeters. This is 440. Good. I went 135 millimeter head tube length. This thing is like, I think this is 125. so that way I don't have to use quite as many spacers. I know I'll have lots of steer tube. Bottom bracket drop, I put it at -5 mm, which is 20 millimeters lower than what this is. So good, but not like specialized -20 or like -30 millimeters low. I hate when bottom brackets are too low, but I also sort of just like can't stand the look of when they're too high. Chainstay length, I accidentally put in 460 millimeters. I don't know why. I actually want it to be 440, so I've told them that. Fully internal dropper seat routing. I'm sticking with 30.9 because that's what I have, even though Nick tells me that I should change it. Too bad. So 150 mils travel front and rear is kind of what I'm shooting for. Boost rear end. And I'm just going with the 4130 butted heat-treated chromoly tubing. The most exciting part of it is I chose for it to be like a very pale, you know, Alders Rodriguez that I made a video about, like that pink, gloss pink like that with like cream white decals. I'm hoping that they email me back and say, hey, we're gonna put like the Merino logo right here in the color you asked for. And I'm gonna say, what I want you to do is put a big, huge Merino logo that's almost hard to read on the top tube here, and then send them the Spindatt script and get them to put it down here in the same color. That's what I really want. The color and the tube shapes is kind of the biggest thing that I'm most excited about. And the fact that I don't have to pay for it all at once. It's gonna be sweet. They're saying on their website right now that it's like a 10-week turnaround. It could very easily end up being longer than that. Yeah, we'll see. But in the meantime, this and the Schwinn Moab 1, which I do really love, are splitting mountain bike duties for the Spindatt Life. And that means that I really should get this underperforming Fox shock out and get the X Fusion back in with the offset bushings, so at least that way it works halfway decent as I'm riding, because that proved to not be great. That's it. That's all. I was just kind of like really excited to share this with all of you because kind of been talking about it for a long time, and I had already told everybody who supports the channel on Patreon about it. And that is kind of like the main perk of supporting the channel on Patreon, is you get to see stuff before I make videos about them. Tomorrow, there's not going to be anything talking about it, but tomorrow we're going to hopefully do like a relatively large day on the big bikes. See if Nick can do the step up.